For Everton, Gray on the left starts a competitive match for the first time since the Cup final, while it's Sheedy's first appearance since the Milk Cup final back in March. And both proved their fitness by scoring twice in a midweek reserve match, ironically against Newcastle United. Graham Sharp and Kevin Richardson lose their places, though Sharp is the substitute. Also missing is Terry Curran, who's publicly voiced his discontent at being left out after making an impact as substitute in Everton's last 2 games. Newcastle keep faith with a side that's been unchanged since the start of the season. Steve Carney has overcome a hamstring problem, but Jack Charlton wants to strengthen his squad, particularly in midfield, an area weakened by Terry McDermott's dispute with the club, which now goes to a league tribunal. Today's referee is Colin Seal from Carlisle, whose last visit here coincided with Newcastle's last home defeat against Sheffield Wednesday in April. Newcastle United kick off on a surface slicked by heavy morning rain, back in front of their stimulating supporters after rather painful visits to Arsenal and Manchester United. Andy Gray in tremendous form, Howard Kendall was saying before the kick-off in the reserve game in midweek. Booked his place back in place of a very disappointed Graham Sharp. Everton, in fact, had a match last Sunday in Switzerland in which Sharp scored twice. The referee asking Neil MacDonald to retreat before taking the throw. Both clubs have had something of a schizophrenic start to the season. Newcastle with those 3 wins and then 2 defeats, whereas Everton lost their opening 2 games, and the referee straight away reaching for the notebook to record the name of John Bailey, who came in late. Bailey going straight through Peter Beardsley. Here's John Ryan. Both Newcastle fullbacks are of the adventurous kind. Saunders, who used to be a fullback himself. Carney, another defender who's pressed into midfield, with Newcastle being a little short of numbers in that department. McDonald, Brown's gone ahead of him. Carney let it run and gets it back again, and Southall was able to slide out in front of Waddle. Was cleverly constructed by Newcastle. The dummy, first of all, by Carney, played back to him by Kenny Wharton, and Southall made the decision to go for the low ball played in, and it was the right decision. McDonald. Midfield again under no real pressure. Here's Beardsley. Beautifully done, and now Waddle. Bracewell made contact with the ball, and now Waddle goes down. This time it's a penalty. Everton protest. I think it was Kevin Ratcliffe who slid into the back of Chris Waddle as Beardsley and Waddle, 2 great individuals, threatened Everton with solo bursts. Bracewell got the ball away from Beardsley, but then down went Waddle, and Colin Seal pointed straight to the penalty spot. And here's Peter Beardsley. It's 1-0. 12 minutes.
The scorer of Newcastle United's first goal,
Confidently struck. Beardsley's second successful penalty in the First Division, and his 3rd goal of the season. Jack Charlton saying before the game that he was concerned that Everton were a hard side to break down. But Newcastle have got an early goal, and they owe it really to the individual inspiration of their two forward players, Peter Beardsley, who played his part, and Chris Waddle, who was brought down, cutting in towards Neville Southall's goal. Carney. And now Waddle. He's in the clear, in at Southall. Neville Southall presented a formidable frame to Chris Waddle. The Everton goalkeeper arrived back from World Cup duty with Wales feeling unwell. And he's been under treatment from the Everton club doctor, but he was at his sharpest end to deny Waddle. Saunders offering himself for the short one with Waddle. He can get by defenders on both sides. Saunders again. Roda waiting. And Neil MacDonald on a bouncing ball couldn't keep it down. Newcastle United in full cry at the moment. Roda making a nuisance of himself and just dropping a little too high for MacDonald's volley. Certainly Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle not quite getting the service that they got in the second division when Keegan was around to help them. But here's Heath trying to provide service for Kevin Sheedy, who's back with a goal. 25 minutes, totally justifying the thinking of Howard Kendall, a player who has got into double figures in his 2 seasons with Everton from midfield. He's had a troublesome ankle injury. There was a real chance that he would not sign a new contract for the club this season, but they persuaded him to stay. He's keen to stay, and Everton fans will be glad of that, with finishing like that. 1-1. And Newcastle held their lead for 14 minutes. Kevin Sheedy showing again how useful he is arriving in scoring situations from midfield. Here's Waddle, though, for Newcastle. He's lost Mountfield, and he's so nearly restored Newcastle's advantage. So difficult for defenders to make a challenge when he's inside the penalty area. Waddle dragging the shot wide. For a tall man, 6 foot 1 inches, he really is very well balanced. There was some holding, it seemed, by Heath on Saunders, but the referee saw it the other way. And in fact, Everton were in possession, or about to be, with Peter Reid. So when the whistle went, it seemed certain to be for a Newcastle free kick. Instead, it's taken by Sheedy and put wide by Mountfield from a position in which he will reflect that he should have scored from. A disappointment showing then. Kevin Sheedy, again, so accurate. And Derek Mountfield, unmarked, from some 6 yards, putting it over the top. Newcastle get a throw off Gary Stevens. John Ryan has dashed across to take it. The crowd, I think, aware that time is in danger of passing Newcastle by. Carney. Ryan gets in the cross. And MacDonald was climbing for all he was worth. And now Bailey losing out to Waddle. McCreary is in the middle, and Southall acrobatically scrambled it over the top. It wasn't quite, I don't think, where Waddle intended, but it nearly embarrassed the goalkeeper, who was conscious of McCreary arriving at the near post. The whistle is for half-time. The boos are really for the Everton approach, after Peter Beardsley had put Newcastle in front from the penalty spot after 12 minutes. But Kevin Sheedy, who got 2 goals against Newcastle's reserve team on Tuesday night, has bounced back to first-team action with a goal against the Newcastle first team here on the Saturday. Half-time score at St James's Park: Newcastle United 1, Everton 1. Everton get the second half underway. After their activities here, they're off to European competition against University College Dublin. And Wharton has been gifted a goal 15 seconds into the second half. And maybe Everton had other things like a European escapade on their mind. They certainly weren't concentrating on the matter in hand.
The scorer for Newcastle United, number 8, Kenny Wharton.
And Kenny Wharton was certainly full of life coming out for the second half, and kept on running and just prodded it past Southall. But a catastrophe in the centre of the Everton defence. And Kenny Wharton gets reward for chasing for what might have seemed a lost cause. But here's Bailey. Bracewell slipping. Those who have criticised Everton for not scoring enough goals, they have scored in every league game this season, and Andy Gray looks to make it 2 here, and Kevin Carr bailed Newcastle out with an acrobatic stop. Gray profiting from more defensive uncertainty, and Carr was not to be beaten. Creary. And the crowd cannot believe the linesman's flag. They have to remember that it was when the ball was played and it travelled a distance, during which time Mountfield had dropped back into a covering position and played Wharton onside. Stephen, 2-2. Trevor Stephen, who comes from Berwick-upon-Tweed and used to watch his football here as a Newcastle United fan, shows again that Everton have midfield players who can score goals. They've got one from Sheedy, and now Stephen, darting in from his berth wide on the right, gets into a threatening position and tucks it past Kevin Carr. Here's Waddle. Beardsley darting ahead of him, and Carney. It's played for Beardsley against Ratcliffe. Beardsley again. It's an interesting little duel between 2 players who are great friends off the field. And Wharton, Carney! Brilliant block by Southall, and Carney again, Southall again. McDonald, and just diverted away for the corner by Sheedy, with Wharton waiting behind in case Sheedy had missed it. But Neville Southall made a significant save from Steve Carney, who must have thought he'd put Newcastle back in front from that position. Gray up well again, guarding the near post area. Brown. And Southall having to just be sure of the bounce, whether the ball would gather pace towards him. Heath. shall tidy up in a position where he was dispossessed by Jesper Olsen against Manchester United last week. Ball running away from Waddle. Saunders. The problem with just the two front players for Newcastle is there isn't always a target man available. As Heath was available for Everton. He's got past Saunders, he's got Gray in the middle, and he had Sheedy, who went to really try and be too sure and got too close to the goalkeeper. It was perfectly set up for Sheedy by Adrian Heath, who kept his head here, saw what was on, and what was on was Kevin Sheedy. Gray just made the extra room, but Carr beat it away. Before the free kick can be taken, Newcastle want to make a substitution. They're calling off Steve Carney, who's had hamstring trouble. And 19-year-old Paul Ferris, a Northern Ireland youth international, comes into the First Division scene for the first time. Ferris. Bracewell. Heath, and Gray is trying to switch it to his left foot, and in that moment, really, a slight indecision, the opportunity was lost. And Newcastle tried to punish that with Waddle against Mountfield. And Waddle is past him, and he's tried to commit Southall, which he has done, and his teammates were flat-footed. Ferris wanted it cut back, but really, the Newcastle players were guilty of standing and admiring the magnificent work here of Waddle. There was a chance that he totally cut out for himself. And just look at the little game of wits with Southall before he leaves the goalkeeper. But as the ball got across the face of the goal, it was only blue shirts there to deal with it. And Southall uncertain. Back flick from Saunders, it was Beardsley's volley. Waddle again. Now Brown. And dispossessed by Adrian Heath, and he not only lost the ball, he lost his balance as well, which meant getting back was taking that much longer. No chances materialising at both ends. Still it remains 2-2. Sheedy. And Reed sneaking forward. It's dropped for Stephen. And he opted to play in across when others might have driven on for goal themselves. Maybe the sheer presence of Andy Gray is something of a magnet to the Everton players around him. And it was Gray he was looking for, who was waiting at the far post, but couldn't convert the cross. The in-swing it again from Stephen. Beardsley's the last boot which connected. Stephen. He helped it on, and Carr had to backpedal furiously. It would have been a freak goal, but it certainly looked as though it was dropping in. Adrian Heath's intent, I'm sure, was just to help the ball into the middle. And Carr had to reposition very rapidly indeed. Sheedy's caught. he will have a second attempt, courtesy of Malcolm Brown. And Gray! They have looked so dangerous from Sheedy's in-swinging corners. And 2 minutes from the end, they finally make one count. Newcastle showing that brittleness in the defensive side of their play, allowing Gray from 3 yards. Delight for the scorer, delight I'm sure for the Everton manager Howard Kendall, who had to make the decision to leave out Graham Sharp. Just as the return of Kevin Sheedy has paid dividends, so too has the return of Andy Gray. And here's Wharton. It's a gallant effort for a player who weighs less than 9 stone and is always in the thick of the fray. But Andy Gray, you can't give him opportunities to use his head that close to goal. And Reed playing it into space that it will take time to retrieve the ball. In fact, time has passed Newcastle United by. Andy Gray's winner 2 minutes from the end after Everton were twice behind. The Newcastle scorers Peter Beardsley with a penalty and Kenny Wharton at the start of the second half. Paul Bracewell will feel pleased with his contribution on his return to the northeast, but Howard Kendall will in particular be pleased with the recall of Gray and Kevin Sheedy, a scorer, and Trevor Stephen, who also came from midfield to level it at 2-2. A final score at St James's Park. It is Newcastle United 2, Everton 3.
Oh, what a fine match. Full marks then to Howard Kendall for taking that chance with Kevin Sheedy and Andy Gray. A match-winning decision, certainly, if ever there was one. And no real excuses from Jack Charlton later on. Big Jack blamed his midfield. He said that's where our problems lie. He said we've got to get on our bike now and find a couple of players to improve the service to our front runners. I'm sure if anybody can put it right, it'll be Jack and his backroom staff. Now it's time for us to take a break, though, but don't go away for a few minutes because we shall then be seeing how the former Newcastle